everyone. Today we have with us Athira Madhav and Susan Joker, two vibrant filmmakers, two journalists, two creators of the film Pentholpaavakkooth. So, ma'am, thank you so much for being with us here today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Pentholpaavakkooth. See, it's very difficult for me even to say that.
Yeah.
Before that, first things first. Pentholpaavakkooth. For the uninitiated, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who don't know about this art form. So for them, could you please explain a bit about this art form?
Okay, so it's one of the oldest art forms that we have in India. It's it translates to shadow puppetry,
Right.
and in Kerala, it's performed by people from Palakkad. So it's a temple art form. Artists, especially men, they have been practicing it for centuries, and they have always been performed in temples, inside temple premises. It's a show that is exclusively for men, and it portrays the story of Kamba Ramayana, which is a version of Ramayana.
Right.
And very recently, women in this family the family of Padma Shri Ramachandra Pullava, Rajita and her team, they have also come into the forte, and they have been performing the Pentholpaavakkooth for the first time in Kerala. So that is what our documentary is about, Rajita and her group.
Right. So it's about this family.
It's not about the family, it's about this initiative by a woman in the family to bring women into this art form that is traditionally male dominated.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you guys are from this journalist background, and it's a very unlikely subject for two journalists to be taking up this particular topic that is very much inherent of our, let's say, Kerala's culture. Like I said, it's very difficult for even Malayalis to understand that there is this particular art form and that these are the attributes of it. So how did you guys end up making Pentholpaavakkooth, the film? How did you arrive at this subject? What inspired you to take up this subject?
Okay, so I don't think it's very different from what I have been doing. So I was a lifestyle journalist earlier. So I met Rajiv Pullava, who's the brother of Rajita, during an assignment in Coimbatore. So he was there to teach a set of differently abled students there. And so we were in touch for a while. And when Rajita came up with this idea, he had sent me a WhatsApp message saying that we have started this. And I had always had this in mind, but I was a print journalist then. So once I joined Manorama, I thought I could do it, and Athira is very proficient in video making. So I pitched the idea in the group, and Athira joined along, and then one fine day we just went and then shot it and then came back, and the family was also very supportive, and it was not covered much then. People didn't know about women coming into this subject, into this art form. So that is how the whole thing came about.
Right, that's very interesting. Right, so the tagline of this film is challenging patriarchal shadows. Like you said, it has always been this male-dominated area, male-dominated art form, and it's very interesting that females of this same family are coming forward to take this up, take this forward. If we start talking about patriarchy, obviously it's going to be a long topic, but slowly but surely we are making progress. How do you think, as two let's say torchbearers of this change, how do you think this film is going to make an impact when it comes to changing the patriarchal norms or social norms? How do you think this film is going to help us?
So when the whole interaction was happening regarding the story and the discussion, we could connect with the story first of all, because this was like a resistance movement from a woman, from a very traditional setup. She has a lot of limitations. She's coming under a lot of cyberbullying and attacks for venturing into this dream of hers. And we could connect with it because we were, women in journalism. We are also fighting our own fight in our industry, venturing into, certain projects and storytelling which our families or our friends might, discourage us, saying, are you sure you're a woman? Is it safe? So we could connect with that on a gender level. And So when we started with the storytelling, we wanted to give her whole truth. We wanted to portray it with 100% honesty. But at the same time, we were working as journalists. We were not filmmakers per se. We were journalists. So we were focusing on our careers. But then again with the filmmaking, so it was done in a very limited. There were a lot of time constraints to shoot it. To produce it and to put it out there. And we certainly hope, our passion came through and the audience could connect with it. Yeah.
And it received a lot of appreciation at our film festival as well. The screening was power packed and everyone was really applauding and they were really all gung ho about the whole subject that was taken up. So congratulations for that as well.
Thank you.
So how long was this process? How long did this entire project take up? How much time did it take up?
So the shoot was, I think, 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, 2 to 3 days.
2 or 3 days, and the editing bit was
around 1 week.
1 week, and the conception bit. So we would stay back after work and discuss, me and Athira in office. So the discussions would go till 11 o'clock at night for a few days.
Right.
So and then we wrote the script. We had a rough script in our hand. Yeah, so probably not more than 15 days in total.
So every work was happening after our working hours. So every bit of our personal time we were adding to it. But then we had this, dream to put this out there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Something that came up when you guys were talking about this. You guys are two women journalists, women filmmakers who are trying to, put out a story of women of a particular family. Obviously there is this gender thing that's common, but on a deeper level, or let's say on a wider canvas, do you think the stories of women are one and the same? Like you said that you were able to connect with the woman that was fighting that battle. Do you think at the end of the day the stories of women are all the same, no matter what background, no matter which part of the society? Do you think there is a commonality?
I mean, there is this constant discrediting of feminism in online spaces, saying there is equality now, everything is fine now, what are you guys fighting for? But when you go into deeper levels, as you said, it's there in every sector, every wherever you go, even in our industry, in our family, within friend groups, or even within a public space, right? Everywhere, the clutches of patriarchy, misogyny, and the plain hatred and violence that women has to endure. So that story will always remain, and it needs to be told, retold, told in different ways, so that however we can reach out to audience to make them aware that everything is not fine. Everything has not been reset, and we are not. It's not rosy. Everything is not rosy here. So this was just a very small part from what we could do, and we certainly hope future filmmakers, journalism students, they come out and say bring out more stories, so that people understand that there are struggles happening at every level section of the society.
Right. So what was the let's say the prominent emotion with which you did this film? Because there is a possibility of anger, there's an obvious possibility of determination. So what was the crux? What was the prominent emotion that you guys held on to while you made this film?
It was pure awe, right?
Yeah, it was actually a mix of emotions. In fact,
Wow.
the first. Because the kind of fight that Rajita was fighting against the entire society, she's coming from a very traditional background, very patriarchal background, but the kind of fight that she's fighting, and even her mother, she's a bit skeptical when she's talking about presenting this art form in a temple. But Rajita is very sure. She said, we want to do it. And it's from the kind of backlash that she has been getting all this while, the courage that she has to say it, it's absolutely mind blowing.
And it's not just her; she's taking along, along a group of women and it's from like
teaching the
9,
future
10,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
small kids to very old women, and everybody is joining this fight, and that's why when we were making this, when they were talking about their struggle, their puppet making skills, how they ventured into this, we were just sitting behind the camera and we were like, wow, I mean, they are doing this, and we were just lucky enough to capture a bit of it. That's it.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So, as filmmakers, let's talk a bit about that. As filmmakers, did you find at any point of at any point in filmmaking, did you find any challenges that came to you as because you guys are women? It's very wrong to be actually emphasizing on the fact that you're women journalists, you're women filmmakers. It's very but still, for the sake of it.
But there is truth in that, right? Susan and I took 2 leaves and went to Palakkad. We stayed at a hotel room, and what families are like, "Are you safe? Do you know where you're going?" And it's like we are visiting the place for the first time. And then there are technical challenges. We didn't have a cameraman. I did some camera. We shot some on our iPhone. The temple premises shoot, which women were not allowed to enter, we had to bring in our male videographer from Manorama. So everything was happening. It was a very tight knit. We didn't have much of a budget. Whatever it was for a storytelling as of a media house.
Right.
It's not like a filmmaking budget. So we did what we could, right, Susan?
So it's really it's a rewarding experience, right? At the end of the day, the film that you made out of so much determination is being very well received and receiving so many accolades. And hats off to you both. And we hope to see, hear, and just view the kind of works that you would be bringing. We really hope you would be bringing up more works.
Hopefully, definitely, hopefully.
Right,
this is a great encouragement for us, for budding entrepreneurs, filmmakers like us, journalists like us, to keep making our small projects, and we can showcase it on platforms like this. So we want to thank the film festival as well.
We're really glad that you guys have been, a part of this, and we're really glad that we got to see that film as well. It was really an eye-opener, let's say, in a lot of ways. And I hope, we get to see more of you and your works in the coming days, in the coming years. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
so much. It was a pleasure. Thank you.